Hi guys, Joe here, Wolfhound Fitness. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Today we're talking about knee stability, okay, and just 3 simple movements or exercises that you can do as part of your warm-up, as part of a recovery session, as part of some extra drills as part of your training, okay, which are going to help improve your overall knee health and your stability for performance. So if we're on the pitch with GA or rugby, or if we're running, or if we're simply just gymming and we're lunging, squatting, okay, box jumping, week in, week out, we need to look after those knees. And if we're not incorporating rehabilitation exercises as part of our warm-ups, we're running the risk of running into an injury somewhere down the line. Okay, so these are 3 drills that I use both personally with clients as part of warm-ups, or as a bit of extra stability work, okay, for injury prevention. Very, very simple. If you're going to do them with me, you're going to need a band and a mat, okay, and something to anchor the band off. But if you're just watching the video, it's fine. You're going to do them at a different time. You don't need those pieces. If you are going to do it with me now, I'm just going to do a few reps. I'm not going to do it take too long. Pause the video, get your equipment, and come back to me, and we're going to start then. Okay. So the first one that we're going to do, if you're ready to go, we're going to be working our lockout, our knee lockout. Okay. A couple of different reasons I do this. It increases blood flow into the knee. Okay, you're working all ligaments and tendons in the general area. You're going to feel your knee joint warm up. Okay, blood flow to an area is only a good thing. It's going to help recovery, and it's going to help strengthen the area as well. So you're going to wrap your band around whatever you're anchoring it off. I'm going to do a few reps from the side here, and then a few face on, just so you can see a few different things we're doing. Wrap it behind the knee. Your band doesn't need to be too strong, okay, to start off here. Like, I'm a pretty thin black band here. We're not looking for tons and tons of resistance. A little bit of resistance is all you're going to need. So take a step back. So as you can see, there's a bit of resistance on the band. I'm just going to get into not even a quarter squat, okay, a little dip. I've allowed my knees to go forward, my hips have gone down, just in this little dip position, my feet are firmly planted, and I'm going to drive my knee back and hold. Okay, tensing my quad at the back of the rep. I'm going to hold that for a second, okay, and I'm putting most of my weight on my opposite side for bags. So my opposite side isn't doing anything, okay, foot's firmly planted, I'm driving my knee backwards to lock it out fully, okay, and I'm pausing there for a second, focusing on how tight I'm squeezing my quad, and especially my VMO, which is the meaty part just here on the inside of your quad over your kneecap. Okay, so drive it back and hold it. If I'm doing this as part of a warm-up, okay, I'm activating my VMO and getting some blood flow into the kneecap, I'm just going to do about 10 reps. Okay, just going to do 10 reps either side, and I might incorporate it into a circuit of 2 or 3 sets. Okay, but maximum 10 reps, okay, if I'm doing this as part of a warm-up. I'm going to fire up that quad, you're going to get some blood flowing into your knee, you're going to feel more prepared after it, okay? I'm going to swap sides now, and I'll actually do these ones just face on. If I can move this, there we go. I'll do these ones face on, just so you can see the different angles. So again, it's around the knee, I'm back just far enough that there's a little bit of tension, and now squaring up nicely, so I'm in a decent squat position. I just dip down a small bit, and now I start working that knee, driving it back. So again, I'm planted on this side, I'm keeping pretty decent posture while I'm moving. As you can see, my movements aren't powerful or anything, okay? I'm locking that knee back, I'm holding it, tensing nice and tight for a second, but I'm not moving fast by any means, okay? I'm becoming aware of the movement in my knee. I'm aware of how much control I have over it. Okay, I'm doing all the moving. I'm moving the band isn't moving me. And I'm becoming aware of the VMO especially. As I said, this chunk of meat here, just over your kneecap, okay, starting to fire up, starting to fatigue a little bit. The higher the reps that you go. So I just said if I'm doing this as part of a warm-up, I'm probably just going to do 10 reps each side, do another drill and come back to it. But as part of a recovery session, okay, if I'm taking a day or two off and I'm working in a couple of recovery sessions, I might do 20 to 30 reps here either side, just once and then walk away from it, okay, do something different altogether. Okay, it says banded lockout, okay, knee extension, really good. You can do it as part of a warm-up, you can do it in a recovery session, 10 reps each side if I'm doing it in a warm-up. If I'm doing it as part of a recovery, I'm going to bump those reps right up to about 30 or 40. Like I said, it's not a really heavy band, okay? Anything that's going to create a little bit of resistance is all you need. And already I can feel that quad nicely fired up. If I'm going to go do something, I know it's going to function a bit better, okay? All right, so that's the banded lockout. Second movement we're going to do is a banded lunge. So I'll do the first few of these facing you. Again, I'll do a few reps facing each direction so you can see different angles. So one of the things that's very important in a squat, in a lunge, while we're running, is that we are avoiding a knee valgus, okay, or knee caving in, all right? So all we're simply doing here with this movement is trying to improve a motor pattern where our knee is tracking our toe throughout the movement, okay? And again, for a warm-up, it's going to work nicely because you're working everything essentially from here down. Okay, you're going to start getting warm by the end of the set. But as a recovery movement or an injury prevention movement, we're just improving the motor pattern where our knee is tracking out over our toe, we're stopping the band pulling us in, and that's going to carry into us when we're running, when we're lunging, when we're squatting, when we're jumping, everything else, okay? So again, I'm just going to do 10 reps either side here, the first 10 face on. So step out far enough that you've that bit of tension, but not tons. It shouldn't be pulling you really aggressively in there, just gently pulling you in so you're aware of it. Even before you start, if you want to just do this a couple of times, let the band pull you in, okay, and now try and pull it out. Feel your hip flexors, okay, and your glutes doing the work to pull that out there. Become aware of it, and now that's what we're going to try and do throughout the rep. So I'm going to step back and down, really controlled. Stop the band pulling me in, okay, hold it there for a second, step back up, and we're just going to do 10 reps here. Okay, so I'm stepping back with tons of control. I'm allowing myself to sink pretty low down into this. My foot is firmly planted now, my toes are gripping the ground. Okay, my foot is nice and stable, and I'm avoiding that band. Oops. I'm fighting that band pulling me in, okay, with each rep. So I'm starting to feel this glute start to burn, okay? As I said, it's predominantly your glutes doing the work to keep that band out, or keep that knee out. So as you get into these, you're going to feel your glute burn up nicely. It's going to become that little bit harder to fight the band. And it's important that you get down pretty low, okay, so that you're nice and solid in that bottom position. 10 reps. Okay, I'm just going to chill out there, and I'm going to do the other few side on so you can see what way I'm moving in the lunge. Okay. So again, I'm going to use this in my warm-ups, 10 each side, do another drill and come back to it. If I'm doing a recovery session, or if I'm doing it specifically, if I know I've got a bad valgus, okay, I've watched a few videos and I see my knee caving in a couple of drills, I might do slightly higher reps. But 10 each side as part of a little warm-up circuit, 2 or 3 movements is going to be fine. Alright, so again, it's on your outside knee. It needs to be pulling your knee inwards. Just enough tension, okay? Nothing crazy. It's not a max strength exercise. It's not supposed to be too hard. Okay, making sure you're comfortable with your stance before you start. Away you go. Step back and down and pause. And I said my front foot is stuck to the ground, nice and stable. And I'm going to pause for a second to stop that band pulling in and step back up. I like to do most of these movements in my bare feet or in my socks. so that you could feel the floor. When I step back, I'm feeling my toes grip the ground. Okay. If that foot is working a bit better, everything up the chain is going to work a bit better as well. So where you can, do these in your bare feet. Again, that glute is burning up nicely now. After a few reps here, that pause in the bottom is essential. And just finishing off my 10. All right. So that's their banded lunge. Again, wherever the band is anchored, if you're in a gym, say our rack is gone at the moment, I'd usually be using that. I just have this wrapped around the rack, okay, the squat rack. This is handy here, but if you're at home, out off the side of your bed or something, or even out of the door, is going to do the job. It should be on the outside leg, so that's pulling your knee in, okay? You're not going to feel any burning in your knee with that one, okay? The first drill that we did, that extension, predominantly your quad, your VMO that's getting worked, you'll feel it burning. This one here, you're really firing up your glute, okay? It's your glute that's going to control that valgus, okay? Or fighting the valgus. So we're really burning up our glutes there with that lunge. All right. The last one then, okay, that we're going to talk about today is reverse Nordic. So a regular Nordic curl would be very well known, very common movement for hamstring health. Reverse Nordic, not as widely practiced, really useful for quad health and obviously in turn your knees. Okay, so we're setting up on our mat now. We have two options, and we can do this with our feet on the floor, our toes on the floor like so, or down there on the ground, your ankle opened up, okay? This is a little bit harder, okay? It might be a little bit more uncomfortable for people than staying up on your toes. So if you want to start on your toes, and after you've done this a few times, you've gotten used to it, then you can try and progress to having your feet flat. Okay, for the purpose of today, I'm just going to start on your toes. That's where people should be starting, just setting out. So, what we're doing is we're going to be lowering ourselves back and pulling ourselves back up, okay, using our quads. We're going to start with very small movements, okay, just like so. You can see I'm barely going and going back maybe a quarter of the way, a little bit less. And already I can feel this pulling now right down in the bottom of my quads, okay, around the knee. And as I grow in confidence with it, okay, I might venture a little bit further back. Okay, so it's got to be back with loads of control. And think about squeezing your quads or tensing your quads to come back up. Alright, so I'm just going to pause for a second and talk about something that's really important with this one. Your midsection needs to be quite tight. Okay, what we don't want to do is overarch our back on the way back up, or allow our hips or our pelvis to roll a huge amount. So when I'm getting set up before I start, I'm going to become really aware of my posture. I'm going to brace my core, and I might even squeeze my glutes, okay, so that my midsection hasn't changed. Okay, if I'm like this at the back, okay, that's not going to be good for your back. It's going to be dangerous. But as well, you're not getting, obviously, poor form is going to result in poor, or is going to lead to poor results. Okay, so we're not getting the most out of the exercise. So you might find you're nearly all the way back there on the floor, but your back is arched massively. Okay, you're not getting much out of that movement, and you're running the risk of injuring your back. Okay, it's a vulnerable position back there. So the movements can be small. I'd rather see really good form, really good midsection, and small little movements. So again, I'm bracing, okay, my core, my glutes, to keep that pelvis in its position, to keep that back nice and neutral. And again, I'm going to do about 10 reps, maybe a few more here. So really feeling this, okay, down just above the knee. Be careful with it, okay? Don't go straight back. Small reps to start off. Again, I can feel those quads burning now nicely as I get through these reps. Alright, so like I said, as you become advanced with those, as you become comfortable, you can try and venture further back, or you can pop your feet flat, and that's a harder, pull. A little bit more advanced version, you can try that. But start off with the toes balancing and coming back just a small bit. Trust me, even with that slight little movement, you're going to feel nice burn there around the bottom of your quads. We're going to start to feel some benefit from it. Down there, I would use as a superset maybe, when I'm doing quite high reps, if I'm doing, let's just say, squats or lunges, sets of 8, I might throw that in as a superset, maybe do a set of 8 in between each set, I might do it at the end of a session if I've done something very hard, I might, like a pretty intense session, I'll throw that in maybe with one other movement for 3 sets of 8. It's not something I'm particularly using in my warm-ups, The warmer you are going into that, the better you're going to move, and the more benefit you're going to get from it, So the knee extension at the start, great for warm-ups or recovery sessions. The banded lunge, again, great for warm-ups and recovery sessions. The reverse Nordic, which you just finished off on, either at the end of your session, or as a complementary movement, as a superset throughout your training, That's it, that is the 3 movements that we're just talking about today. Rewind and go back to the start if you're going to go do them now. If I was doing that, like I said, if I was doing that in a warm-up, I might do 8 each side or 10 each side. If the movements, do 3 sets of it. I'm not going to do the Nordics in my warm-up. If I'm doing it as a recovery, I'll pump those reps right up a nice bit higher. Thanks very much for tuning in. Don't be afraid to get in touch if you have any questions. Hope you found that beneficial, and definitely incorporating these movements as part of your weekly routine somewhere around your training. You're going to strengthen those knees, you're going to improve your general health of your knees, you're going to lower your risk of injuries further down the line. Alright, thanks a million, have a good day, and stay tuned for a few more stability videos coming up.